So, as single mothers, when we are on our menstrual cycle, when we are bleeding, it is so important that we prepare for that and that we honor that. Because when we are bleeding, that is a very sacred time for us as women. I mean, it's amazing when you think about it that women can bleed as much as they do for as long as they do, and it's not an emergency. It's normal. But the problem is that when we ignore, when we try to push down, when we try to push through that time of the month for us, especially when we're single moms and we expect ourselves to perform the same way that we perform when we're not bleeding or right before we're bleeding. It just doesn't even make sense. We try to fight against what our bodies are telling us. We're tired. We feel, the need to retreat, to go and be with ourselves. We want to just eat more. And duh, we should be eating more, right? We're bleeding. We're losing so much iron, so many nutrients through our blood. Kind of makes sense that our body's so desperately asking us to sleep, to rest, and to eat more. So I wanted to just come on here and tell y'all 5 things that I do, especially being a single mother, to prepare and to honor my time of the month when I'm bleeding, my sacred time, my beautiful time. Because that's another thing. I've switched the way I look at my bleeding. My bleeding is beautiful. It is sacred. It is ancient. It is powerful. So, let's see. The first thing I do is this. I burn a red candle, y'all. I've been doing this now for 3 cycles, and I've noticed a huge difference in how I feel throughout those moments that can get a little crazy still because, especially when you're a single mom and you have your children to tend to, and mind you, mine are all at this point in time 7 and under, 7 years old and under. Hold on. So 4 kids, all 7 and under. That makes sense. So, even though my body's requesting for me to slow down, sometimes, that's not possible for me. I got to keep up with my kids. They still need to be tended to, right? In ancient times, back in the day, women were able to take the time off from their families in the sense of they would go into these tents and retreat and be with themselves and rest and nourish themselves while they bled. We don't do that no more, right? We don't really acknowledge the power of this time for us as a society because we are supposed to run like men run, right? This is a man-made society, right? The way people are expected to perform on a daily basis is not honoring the woman. So, as a mother and as a single mother, I have to keep up with them. But when I have this red burning candle, it is a visual reminder for me that, hey girl, you're bleeding. You're on your sacred time of the month. It's all good. Give yourself grace. Let things go. Surrender. Surrender to the flow. Your menstrual flow, your bleeding, right? And be okay with whatever's going on right now. Like, even if the house is a mess, even if the dishes are overflowing, even if you got laundry exploding, oh well, I'm bleeding. I'm going to honor my bleeding. I'm going to honor my time I'm going to honor my time of the month because it's sacred to me. So when I walk into a room sometimes and I kind of get distracted, I get maybe worked up, because our emotions are a little bit out of whack. And I don't want to say out of whack because that gives it a negative, perspective on it. Our emotions are not the same. The way we respond to things are not the same when we are bleeding. And it's okay. That's fine. So this is a great reminder for me to just slow down, be present, let it go, surrender, and go with the flow. There you go. So try this if you think it might help you to be more present and to slow down and honor your time of the month. So number 2, y'all, I have learned that it is so important for me to say no to friends and family, to invitations, to favors, to even my own children. I say no. For example, my kids, when I'm bleeding, I have learned that there is no, messy arts and crafts going on in my house. We cannot do those things because I don't have the same amount of patience to deal with the mess. And it's not fair to myself or my children because they're not even going to really enjoy themselves because I'm going to likely snap. I'm going to, put all these restrictions on them and limitations. And it takes the fun out of the arts and crafts when you got a mom who is snapping at you because you are making a bit too much of a mess. So I say no to my children, I say no to meal requests that are like a little bit too much for me because if we're eating, if I have to, I'm sorry. It's even cereal for dinner sometimes when I'm bleeding, and I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? So learning to say no when you're bleeding so that you can honor this sacred time is crucial. It's essential. It's not selfish at all. And if other people can't understand that, that's their problem. But say no. And also, going back to my red candle, when I light this red candle, I've explained to my children that mommy's bleeding. Mommy needs to rest more. Mommy needs more help from you guys. Therefore, pick up after yourselves. If there's something you can do for yourself, try to do it because mommy's bleeding, so mommy needs to rest. And my 7-year-old really understands that and is so sweet. And my 5-year-old now is also understanding of that and mentions it and says, oh wait, mommy's bleeding, let's be more, thoughtful of mommy, things like that. And they're really simple things, but it makes a huge difference for me. And it really makes me feel so special when I see my children acknowledging my red candle and acknowledging, okay, mommy is on her time of the month and let's, be more supportive. So that's another thing that this red candle does. It is also a visual reminder to the people in your life that you are bleeding and to be more, thoughtful of you, more considerate. Okay, so we already went on, we did burning a red candle, saying no, and number 3 now, y'all, is a meal prepping, prepping in general, like cleaning, whatever, like during the time of the month when you feel most energetic, that's when you need to be doing all your deep cleaning. Nobody's deep cleaning when you're bleeding, right? It shouldn't be expected, and you shouldn't expect it of yourself. And you should say, heck no, because your body is not down for that. And when you honor that, you will have way more energy coming out of your bleeding than you would if you didn't honor that. You'll take much more longer to recover from your bleeding because you're continuing to drain, to take from your body when it isn't able to give. So I meal prep. If I'm going to make waffles during the time of the month when I'm feeling great, when I'm not bleeding, I'm feeling energetic, I got this, I'm Superwoman right now. That's when I'm making double batches of waffles, okay? Or if I decide to make pancakes, I'm making double batches and I make pancakes or waffles or whatever I'm making. for that day, and then I make extra to freeze, because that's gonna be pulled out when mama is down. When mama's out, mama's pulling out those frozen waffles, those frozen pancakes, or whatever meal I make ahead of time when I'm feeling great, to serve my family, to serve my children, so that at least I know they're getting, healthy meals when I'm bleeding, when I don't feel like cooking, when I don't feel like making a big mess in the kitchen and making these meals, because I just don't have it in me. So, I do as much cleaning, as much deep cleaning. Like, I'm not cleaning the shower when I'm bleeding, right? So I try to clean the bathroom, deep clean the bathroom during the times when I am feeling great. Okay. So yeah, that really has helped me tremendously. I mean, tremendously. You know how I look at it? Like, every month, I'm having a baby. You know how you prepare when you want to have a baby? Because you're out, you're done, your body's depleted. You prepare for that, right? You get meals. You try to prep for meals and stuff like that, so that way you can have things you can just pop out the freezer and warm it up and serve it, and there's less, no prepping or nothing like that, no cleaning. All this is not existent. So, and it's kind of makes sense because, right, why are you bleeding, right? You are releasing the egg that did not get fertilized that could have been a baby. So you are giving birth to this baby, this egg, not this baby, but the egg that didn't turn into a baby is coming out of you, right? And it's this process of bleeding it out, of shedding everything that was supposed to be an environment for a baby is being shed from you. And yes, of course, it's not as, intense as having a baby. Of course not. But because it's, a very short time. It's only going to last a week and a half for you. But it's that same feeling of depletion is what I'm saying. You're depleted. You're feeling like you're done. You're out of the game. So, preparing for it in a sense like that will, really be beneficial for you, because for that week and a half that you're out, it takes so much pressure off of you in the kitchen and in terms of the cleaning schedule that you may have. So, on to the next now. Number 4, try to avoid social media as much as possible, y'all. Don't be checking your Facebook. Try to even stay off of YouTube. All that stuff. Just avoid it as much as you can, because honestly, when you're bleeding, your body's needing to go within yourself, to be, not your body, your spiritual aspect, your mind, your essence is asking to go within, not to look to the outside world for answers, not to look to the outside world for comfort. No, this is a sacred time where we're supposed to be with ourselves. That's why, I know for me and from many other women, I don't know every woman, but for the most part, from what I hear and from my own experience, we want to be alone. There's this sense of wanting to be alone. And before I knew what I knew about the power of my menstrual cycle, I felt depressed about that feeling. I'm like, oh my God, like, why do I feel like I just want to hide underneath a rock, And now I understand, like, no, that's my body communicating to me that this is the time of the month where I'm supposed to retreat from everything outside, which is what women back in the day did, right? They would retreat into a tent, and they knew that was powerful. But we lost that. We lost that understanding. And, when you know this, it's like, wait, I'm supposed to be, stay away from people as much as possible. I'm supposed to, be with myself and enjoy being with myself, even if it's, difficult, because it can be difficult. But when you know that this is normal and you know this is powerful, because when you're with yourself and you're able to meditate or reflect or just be, it's like you start to feel so much more powerful. You start to get to be more connected with yourself in a way that is hard to do when you're out and about and, mingling with others and being a social butterfly or just being out and about and staying busy. It's hard to do that. But when you are in a place where you have to do that, where you know this is essential for your inner self, for your true authentic self, then you see it in a very beautiful way. Like, no, this is normal. This is beautiful. This is powerful. And, it changes it all. So, avoid social media, even avoid, people as much as you can. Like, don't meet up with friends and family members as much. Try to be with yourself and connect with yourself and see how much more powerful you feel, especially coming out of that stage. You just feel much more secure in who you are. So definitely try that, y'all. Avoid the social media. Avoid being a social butterfly if you are, and if it feels right to you at the end of the day, Yes, so try that out and see if that works for you. And the last thing is, of course, sleep, rest as much as possible, y'all. So obviously, as a single mother, y'all, um, I cannot tell my 1-year-old, like, I'm gonna take a nap right now, so because I'm bleeding, so let me take a nap. No, right? That's not gonna happen, right? But what I can do as a single mother is I'm not cleaning. Like I said earlier, no cleaning, no, extravagant meals. If we're having, breakfast for dinner because it's, cereal or some frozen waffles that I had in the freezer, which mind y'all, I got to do a video on that because the waffles I make are with like beans and greens and things like that. So pretty awesome, healthy, nutrient dense waffles. Excuse me. So like, if we're having waffles, frozen waffles that I made that I meal prep for this time for this time of the month, then that's what we're having, and I'm definitely using my paper plates, and if I have them, I'm using my plastic spoons and forks, and I try not to use those as much because I know using those plastic spoons and forks is terrible for the environment, y'all, but sometimes I gotta just say, girl, like, you're doing the best you can, right? So I'm definitely just making things as easy as I can so that I can rest. I may not be able to sleep as much as I would like to, but I'm going to get my rest. I'm going to put my feet up. I'm going to allow my kids to get some extra, screen time so that I can prop my feet up and relax and not feel bad about it. Like before, I would feel bad about it. Like, oh my God, I'm a terrible mom. I'm giving them all this screen time right now because I feel like so terrible right now. I feel so tired. I feel depleted. I don't know what to do. Now it's like, no, girl, it's okay. If you gotta give them some extra screen time so that you can get the rest your body desperately needs, so that you can be the best version of yourself, so that you can be the best mom for them, so be it. Because once I stop bleeding and I'm feeling like my energies just come right back to me, I feel so much more stronger because I honored my bleeding. You guys, me and my kids, we're out, we're doing things, we're active. I'm very involved, and we're happy. And when I surrender to that and I say, you know what, it's all good. Well, guess what? I'm not screaming at my kids. I'm not losing my patience. I'm not, doing those things that I feel like are more detrimental than giving them screen time. Like, I'd rather have my kids give them a little more screen time than me lose my patience with them and be screaming and be upset and, for what, right? So I'm definitely going to rest as much as I can when I'm bleeding as a single mother. And also, I prepare myself. Like, as soon as my kids go to bed, I'm out. Lights out for me too. When I'm bleeding, I don't play with that. I go straight to bed, y'all. As soon as I put the last one down, I'm down. I'm out. And another thing is, I don't feel bad about not waking up before my kids wake up. when I'm bleeding. I sleep. I don't care. I will sleep until they wake me up because I need that. I understand that my body is asking for more sleep. So I don't feel bad about it. I just go with the flow, y'all. That's the best advice I could say is go with the flow, literally, when you're bleeding, especially as a single mother. Okay? So yeah, you guys. Those are the 5 things I do to really honor my bleeding, to prepare for my bleeding. So especially, being a single mother, like I said, the meal prepping is key because I don't have a partner to be like, hey, can you cook tonight? Can you do the dishes tonight? I have to get my rest. So I have to be prepared for when that time comes so it can be easy peasy. So I can go with the flow so things don't become so chaotic that it's too overwhelming for me. Yeah. Well, I hope that helps y'all. I hope it helps somebody out there. But yes, ladies, honor your cycle, honor your bleeding. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, definitely like and subscribe. This was a pleasure making this video, y'all. All right, good night. Bye.